In order to be an extraordinary instructor, extraordinary teacher, you must be able to clear yourself every single thing that works in opposition of that habit. You must do everything in support of that habit, to allow yourself to keep moving up, to keep expanding, and to keep growing as a teacher. I want you to think of something. If your goal is to give the students a high level of understanding, then you must have a high level of understanding. If you have a low level of understanding, it's impossible to give the student a high level of understanding, because you cannot give what you don't have. So how do we achieve a high level of understanding when the word understanding itself says standing under? You achieve a high level of understanding by first having humility. What blocks people from having a high level of understanding? Their ego. And it works this way. In here, the ego tells them, I know that. I know this. I know better. I don't need to know that. I don't need this. This is what happens. The ego is running in the background. When the ego is running in the background, when someone is giving you vital information right in front of you, in the back of your head, what's going on? Another conversation. What are they talking about? This doesn't make any sense. This is not clear to me. It's not clear because you're not listening. You're hearing another conversation in your head at the same time. So you're missing a lot. That's what happens. And that's human nature. That's what you're going to find with ordinary people and ordinary instructors. Now, extraordinary people have extraordinary listening. They take in the information. They don't put themselves above the information. They don't put themselves above the person giving them the information. When I was third degree black belt and I was teaching, there was a first degree black belt. And he had the nerve to come up to me, telling me how I should teach sidekick to the students. Lucky for me, my first instinct, who the hell is this young kid? 18 years old. I'm twice his age. That was the first instinct that came first. But then I pushed it aside and said, let me listen. And because I listened, I was able to hear what he was saying. Because I stood underneath with humility and said, okay, talk to me, I'm listening. I was able to understand, and that helped my school. Later on, I discovered that that kid was training since he was 4 with one teacher, the great late Grandmaster Tiger Kim, one of the best teachers of all times. And the kid was absolutely right. That was Jerry Fontanez, known as Fast Feet, who later became the #2 fighter on the East Coast, by the way. But that would not have happened if I didn't place myself in the humble position, in the position where I could understand. So, as a teacher, you must understand that knowledge comes from everywhere. That every student can teach you something. Every instructor can teach you something. Even the bad instructors. If nothing else, they can teach you the consequences of doing the wrong thing, and you will have even greater understanding. Now, another level of this is this: opening not just your mind, but your soul, your heart and soul, and your spirit. And that requires a profound personal practice. If you are not meditating, you are holding yourself back from a whole nother level of understanding. You're holding yourself back from going to very deep places, because it's the deep places in martial arts. It's the deep foundation that raise the mountain, that support the peak. So, if your desire is to move up, to go up, stay up, to keep increasing your skill level and your understanding, then you gotta get down. You have to go deeper. You have to meditate. Because there are things that cannot be put into words. Words are great for the mind, but the heart and soul speak a whole different language. And the spirit, even a higher language. And that only comes from understanding. And that kind of understanding only comes from going deep inside. Meditation, contemplation, and prayer. Still your mind, your heart, your soul, the spirit, the body, everything is still. Simply breathe. And let everything go. Simply be. In 2 minutes, there's a shift in consciousness. Within 3 minutes, there's a shift of being. Within 4 minutes, there's liberation. Within 5 minutes, to touch and be touched by the divine. And the more you do this, every time you meditate, you actually go deeper. And it takes less time. And as your practice deepens, you begin to connect to the frequencies. The energetic field exists everywhere. It contains the spirits of all the past masters, of all the sages. Energy is here, now, all around you, around all of us. problem is only this. People are too busy to notice. They're too distracted by the visible to even begin to sense the invisible. All that you see all around you, that is 3% of the universe. The rest is invisible. You don't see gravity. You see the results, but you do not see gravity. You don't see thoughts. You see the results, but you don't see thoughts. You don't see emotions. You see the results and the expression of emotions. You don't see. You don't see radiation. You don't see electricity. You don't see oxygen. You don't see viruses. So, be aware that the universe that you don't see is actually the real universe. Everything else you do see is a projection of that universe. When you make a practice of going inside, of meditating, contemplating, and prayer, it work in that deeper level, that deeper realm of reality, which affects everything. So as a teacher, if you want to grow in the martial arts, growing outwardly in the martial arts really involves growing inwardly. As you go deeper, you will move higher. So as a teacher, you will have deep, profound understanding. And with that, you will be able to provide the student deep and profound understanding